Joe Phantomaniacs, welcome to the newest unboxing here on the Needless Things YouTube channel. I'm going to be using some weird camera angles and movements and whatever else because this is a big boy item and I don't feel like being on camera. I'm maybe just a little bit hungover from some excesses last night, but I want to get this review done because I'm so excited for this Dragonfly. And also, if I wait like a week, well then what's even the point? It is here, the HasLab Dragonfly from the G.I. Joe Classified series. I am going to need 3 AA batteries, which I believe I have. Well, I definitely have, even if I have to cannibalize something for them. I've definitely got 3 AA batteries. I would imagine everybody does. Box art, gorgeous. You can see up here one of my corners got smushed despite Hasbro's very thorough corner protection. So if I were keeping this mint in box, like if I had ordered 2 and wanted to keep 1 just for, reasons, I'd have to return this because this is a heck of a smush, as you can see. But of course, I'm opening it. I'm not worried about the smushed corner. We're all good. Got a nice gloss here on the G.I. Joe logo. Just generally a very classy, nice looking box. What you would expect. I am not at the workbench because the workbench is not big enough. Well, the space at the workbench is not big enough for something of this magnitude. So I'm just figuring out how to shoot this, how to move it around, and we'll see how this goes. There, we've got a look at the top of the box, which I think that logo looks absolutely great. I'd wear a t-shirt with that logo on it, but I would not pay $30 for a t-shirt with that logo on it. Yeehaw Champion, G.I. Joe. That is tremendous. And I love the sort of blueprint style look here. And again, Yeehaw Champion, G.I. Joe. Back of the box, just a nice, classy, more of a traditional box art image, side view of the Dragonfly. Same painted style as the front of the box, looks cool. And then on the back of the box, we've got that nice classic style diagram with all of the features of the Dragonfly XH-1. A nice gloss on the image there. I'd like to say Hasbro really knows what they're doing with packaging art now, and it's a fact they do. But toy companies in general have just taken packaging to a different level now, for the most part, especially for special release items like this. They understand that even if people are not mint in box collectors, that there needs to be a certain level of class to that packaging to help make the product feel worthwhile. All right, let's open this thing up. All right, as I said, I'm kind of working within some constraints here. So now that I've got a fixed camera, we're zoomed in a little close. But that'll be fine once we get everything that's in this box out of the box, because this is not just the Dragonfly, but a number of figures as well. And I'm going to do something a little different with past HasLabs or large items with multiple parts or figures. I've done it as just all one review. Oh, interesting. We've got like a drawer system here. So let me turn this up. This week, rather than doing it all in one shot and having this like hour-long video, I'm going to break it up, or at least I'm planning to break it up. We'll see. We'll see. My plan right now is to have separate reviews for the Dragonfly and each of the figures, because look, these figures deserve their individual reviews. So we've got one. This shelf system is really cool. If you can see, let me get that back in there so you can get a look at how this is set up. It's just this system of shelves, or drawers, not shelves, drawers. A very clever design. So you've got the top drawer. It's a nice narrow piece with that G.I. Joe logo. Middle drawer, G.I. Joe Yeehaw Champion. And then your bottom largest drawer, the Dragonfly. So anyway, we'll see how this plays out. My intent is to review the Dragonfly today and then do the figures individually, but, you know, we'll just see what happens. But considering that a lot of my Classified Series figure reviews, well, and other brands for that matter, can go for, you know, almost half an hour sometimes, because I like to talk and I like to be as thorough as I can be. Although, as the commenters have pointed out and know, I do miss things. It happens when you're doing a live unboxing style review. You're just not going to catch everything. It's how it's going to go. So I had to step away to get my water. I've got to stay hydrated here. All right, so this appears to be the main box with the Dragonfly. That's an unpleasant noise. Oh, man. Look at that. Just the sight of, look, it's vehicle parts is so exciting. Because one of the things, I never wanted 1/12 scale G.I. Joes. However, well, and part of the reason I never wanted 1/12 scale G.I. Joes is because to me, G.I. Joe is all about the vehicles. The characters, well, it's not all about the vehicles, but the vehicles are critical. You got to have vehicles. Yes, it's really all about the characters. Like if I had to say one thing, it's all about the characters. But the vehicles are critical to the play pattern. And that's how I came up with G.I. Joe. All right. I've got to make a mental note here. Look at the instructions. Sometimes I get a little excited. I start putting things together, moving things around. So we're going to look at the instructions. Wait, are the instructions upside down? Oh, wait, do they fold out? Okay. I thought it was a booklet, but it's a pamphlet. There we go. There's all the important stuff. So it just didn't make sense to me. Why would you even do 6-inch G.I. Joes? Whoa, what is this? Oh my gosh. What is this even for? And I'm sure some of you watching know exactly what these extras are. Like, I knew we were getting some extra labels to customize the Dragonfly however we want. But what is this craziness? Oh my gosh. And oh, this probably goes on the base. Oh no. This is right up my alley, but I feel like I can't put this on a Dragonfly, but I really want to. Anybody who's been watching my stuff knows I don't pay too much attention to online listings for what's included with the things that I know that I'm buying. I'm trying to see my counter for the video, because it looks like it's disappeared. Oh, there it is. Okay. It's moved. I want to have the unboxing experience. I don't want my knowledge of what's included with this item to come from looking at pictures on the internet. I want it to come, like I knew I wanted a Dragonfly. So to me, for my purposes, what is the point of scouring the HasLab listing to see what comes with it, rather than experiencing the joy and the surprise of, oh my gosh, look at how good these blast effects look, like that kind of thing. Which, granted, you don't know that till you see it in person anyway, but still, I don't know. Like I said, I just don't look at the listings all that closely because I like to be surprised and delighted. Man, look how great. These are huge and they look awesome. Man, those dog bones are really big. I mean, I guess they have to be. But look at those rockets. And they're very light. Oh, good rigid plastic. Oh, man. Okay. Gotta keep moving. Massive blast effects. These are, I mean, look at that. I didn't bring my measuring tape out here, but I mean, yeah, I am a 6'4" male. So look at my hands and look at these. And you can tell how big they are. These are like twice the size of a classified figure. Oh, we'll have figures out here in a minute. So that is just the top. Oh, there it is. So here is the tailpiece. Oh, those colors look really nice, and they're still wrapped up in plastic. We don't even really know yet. At first, I didn't love the yellow, but now I do. Because at this scale, I think you need those design elements, those splashes of color, those bits of contrast, for things to look good. If this was just, you know, olive drab, like the original, I don't know how striking it would really be. So I will say this. One of the things I noticed when our FedEx delivery guy delivered the Dragonfly is it was crazy heavy. Way heavier than I expected it to be. I'll tell you right now, a lot of the weight, because this is, I mean, look, it's got weight to it, I'm not going to lie, but a lot of the weight is in the packing materials. And making them sturdy enough to protect all of this. So when you first get your Dragonfly, if you haven't gotten it yet, and you're like, oh my gosh, why does this weigh so much? And if this weighs this much, how much is a Mauler going to weigh? Or Mobat, or whatever they end up doing. Because obviously we don't know anything. I have to have a G.I. Joe tank before this line ends. If it ever does. Well, it will. Well, we're not going to get into what's going to happen to luxury items in the near future, but yeah. All right, let's set those right there. I just want to get the drawers all open, and then I'll cut and take everything out of the bagging because nobody needs to see that, or at least I don't think you do. I suspect this is the figures. Yes. Okay. Let's see. Let's set this up here. Just so classy. Like, all of this packaging, the look of everything, just classy. Wild Bill. So I've got 4 figure reviews to do. Night Force Ripcord. Glinda, who personally I love as a choice. And Night Force Crazy Legs. Their faces look weird to me. But we will get into that. Man, Wild Bill looks really, really good, though. Their faces look like video gamey, but we'll get into that when we do the figure reviews. So we've got 142, 143, 144, and 145. And yes, those are going to be separate reviews that I do in the workshop because it's just so much easier to review in there. All right. So I'm going to keep moving things around. What is in this then? Oh, this must be the stand. And the base or the stand or whatever is going to have to be heavy to support the Dragonfly, right? Oh. Oh, it's okay. So there's some other things in here as well. I guess stabilizer wings. Oh, beautiful! Look at them. Oh, this isn't as heavy as I thought it would be. This is that stand itself, and then this is the base. Oh, they're not heavy at all. Okay. And that's everything in that box. All right. So, everything neat and pretty. I am going to stop, unbag it all, because there's just no reason to see that. And then we'll put this thing together. Okay, I'm checking back in because I wanted to show this. There's a protective film around a lot of the parts. I've already removed it from the Dragonfly pieces, but I just wanted to show the detail, or not the detail, the care that they went to in packing this thing, in that these blast effects, just to make sure, you know, none of this paint application came off in transit. Because I would imagine, this is just my guess, when you're painting a translucent plastic like this, the chances of just scraping, scratching, losing some of this paint is there. The potential is there. So this film, protecting those pieces, and protecting the smaller blast effects as well. Everything was wrapped very carefully. Not a single piece of tape on the bags, which I loved. Everything was just folded over or like doubled over or whatever. And then this, another look at that. This plastic piece is just there to keep the struts from bowing during delivery, just to keep them separated. And looks like a really easy removal here as well. Probably be easier if I wasn't trying to film this, because I wouldn't be worried about, like, I gotta make sure everybody sees this and how it works or whatever. Which is, you know, that's one of the challenges of this, in doing this filming and everything. You're trying to focus on many things at the same time. I'm trying to make sure you guys see everything. But then when I get distracted by a detail and I want to get a closer look at something, well, then sometimes I move it out of frame and you guys can't see it anymore. And then I realize it and I'm like, oh no, I'm completely ruining the point of what I was trying to do. Lots of things at once, as opposed to just focusing on the toy and enjoying it. But I get my enjoyment from the reveal of the toy, but also from sharing what I'm seeing and how things are working. So it all works out in the end. And then somebody says, you didn't even try to put the smaller gun in the backpack. And I'm like, yeah, I know now. All right, there we go. So there's that. And then there's one more aspect of the main body of the Dragonfly that I want to take a look at. And that is, they've got these adhesive circles to make sure the canopy stays closed. I am guessing these are not going to leave any residue behind. But it does pain me a bit to see them on there at all. But I understand. But the trick is going to be getting there we go. No residue whatsoever. All right, now that I've got that one, because I don't want to scratch anything. Oh, there we go. You can just do a rolling motion at the edge, and it'll roll right off. Again, no residue. And then one more. We'll try that technique again just to make sure it does work. Sort of. Okay, yeah. So just a rolling motion at the edge. Ooh, careful. We'll get that off. Oh, I left a little. Just a little bit, but peeled right off. Okay, cool. Success. All right, so everything is unwrapped now. So I'm going to throw away the garbage that I've got to throw away. We're going to get the instructions out and put this thing together. Okay, everything's unwrapped. I want to put some stuff together, but first, because I think it's going to be easier to do it before this is completely assembled, I'm going to put the batteries in here. I do miss the days when battery covers just snapped open and everything wasn't a screwdriver. All right. So the bottom one. It looks like these both face the same way, which I didn't expect. Okay. That one in there, easy enough. So while I still think having to use a screwdriver to open every battery cover of every toy now is a pain, that wasn't so bad. Now, I'm not going to turn anything on. I'm also not going to tighten that too much at all. And I'm not going to leave those batteries in it. I'm not going to turn anything on yet because I want the full effect of the Dragonfly lights whenever that happens. So we don't want to see any lights yet. I want to wait till it's assembled. Okay, so number one, which number one has like 8 steps to it. But first I wanted to point out, when you're looking at this tail, it looks like a dragonfly's tail, which I realize, of course, that's why the vehicle is named what it is. But I feel like the design is even clearer here than it was with the original vehicle. This black coloring on this just looks fantastic. Really, really sharp. So let's go ahead and plug that in here. And my assumption is that this is a one-time assembly. Yeah. Once you've put that together, you're done. Wouldn't it be nice, though, if there was like a release there? That does not seem to be the case. That would have been a good design feature, though, because now you have this massive beast. If you ever have to move or anything, that's what you're stuck with. There is no packing this back up, it would appear. Okay. Got your stabilizers or whatever these are called. And again, looking at, because of the way these tabs are done, this is a one-time assembly. There we go. That's easier than I thought it would be. Lining it up is... Okay, there we go. All right. Those are in. I love the green and the red. Very nice touch. Now we've got... Oh, man. Well, it's too late now. I was thinking I should be putting the labels on these before I put everything together. It would be a lot easier to manage. But like I said, it's too late for that now. We will forge ahead. So these look like identical pieces. So either one can go on either side, doesn't matter. Oh, that's cool. Okay, once you put those in, they are connected. So there was a little bar in there that they slid onto. Very nice. That's a nice design there. And these pieces that, again, appear to be identical. Ah, I love that the tampo is on both sides. I love that it's a tampo. And those pivot. I suppose the last piece of part one, perhaps the most critical piece. Oh, look at this design. This looks so good. Let's move that out of the background. So it's got just a little, these are actually separate pieces. So there is a little movement with those pistons. Like this part doesn't move up and down, but you can just see there's a little wiggle there. All right. I don't think there's any particular way. What I'm going to do when I put this in, I am not going to rely on the struts to support the weight of me pushing this into place. I'm going to pick it up like a ska band and push that into place. There. Yeah, don't let the struts take the weight of that, because it takes some force to pop that into place. So use your hand to support the body and push it in that way. And then just gorgeous detail on those. And just like the other pieces, these are identical. So snap right into place. Oh, this is beautiful. Whoop. Hit my tripod there. Look at that. What an absolute work of art. All right, what else have we got here? What else needs to be assembled? So 2 is basically add on whichever accessories you prefer to add on. I'll tell you right now, I am absolutely putting those giant rockets on the sides because I love them. These are not identical pieces. Whoops. Trying to zoom. I can see one has a 1, one has a 2. They're not labeled as such in the instructions, but I would imagine you should be able to figure out which is which. Oh, okay. Well, that's easy enough, because one of the dog bones is going to fit the missiles, and the other one is going to fit the Dragonfly. So I believe... Boy, that seems kind of big and unwieldy, doesn't it? So they're basically like these giant rails that the rockets get mounted on. Oh, but it is nice and snug. It looks right, doesn't it? Like that whole rail would support this, and as this launches, yeah, that actually makes more sense. Oh, and these also kind of snap into place. Like they're not just. Ooh, that's gonna be. Okay, let's put those back. You can see they sort of snap to a little bit. When you take these off, you're going to have to pull them off that way, because if you just pull, the whole thing is going to come out. Oh, man. I don't know what it is about these white missiles. They just look really cool. The yellow and orange on them just looks really sharp. Let's see. Well, and the black on the tip. Like, just looks really sharp and clear. Something very visually striking about that. Because you've got white highlights. You've got them on the rotors. You've got them on the tail fins there. Like, there's white around. I don't know. It just looks cool. What else have we got? Oh, come on. Feature number 1. Ah, that rescue line, tow hook, whatever you want to call it. And then it retracts like so. Now the difference here is this one does not mount, it is not underneath like it was on the original Dragonfly. It mounts to one of the wings, and I'll be honest, I don't love that. But, you know what? Having said that, let's see. Okay, so having said that, this makes more sense. Because if you are in a rescue operation, where is it going to be easier? And look, this is fantasy military, people. But if you are rescuing somebody, you're going to want to have somebody on, and I realize it's ridiculous, the idea that somebody's going to be riding on these struts, but in the fantasy military world of G.I. Joe, somebody riding on these struts could potentially help the person you just rescued, as opposed to them just being stuck underneath the whole time. I don't know. I'm going to pretend that works and makes sense to me. So now we have decisions to make, because I feel like I almost knocked my stand over there. I want that original turret on this for sure. And then it's got the connecting. Look at that. Look how great that looks. That's fantastic. So that plugs into, oh, whoops, goes that way. Where does this plug into? Oop. Oh, okay. Oh, it just kind of seats there. There's not, doesn't really plug into it. Oh, because that's now, oh, that's cool. And then, so that plugs in there, that plugs in there. That, oh, sorry, I just realized I'm still at 2. Well, we'll leave it at 2, because now you can see. Is that plugged all the way in? Yeah, I guess it is. Yeah. So you've got your pivot there, but then the mount and the ammo feed. It's great. I know a lot of people aren't fans of the scoring, and I don't love it. While we're here, let's take a look. That cool. And then up here, oh, my rotor's hitting my camera. That doesn't really open all the way. Oh yeah, it does. There we go. Now see, this interior detail, for whatever reason, doesn't bug me. Like the painting on it, I think it looks really nice. But this, I don't love it. Okay. And now I get to decide if I want these just look really cool. They're so snug, but like powerful looking, just like little missiles, but would absolutely ruin your day. Or look at this detail. It's great. The so-called chips and salsa. These look cool, but visually, I don't know. Here, let me put one on one side and one on the other, and we'll see. Okay. Look at the tampos on this are just fantastic. We'll look in the cockpit in a minute. I'm gonna do handheld for that. I didn't love these being yellow initially when I first saw the pictures, but all of the little hits of color on this bring it to life. So that's what those look like. And then I'm just going to go crazy and hold it right by the rotor like a wild man. And then that's what those look like. Like, this is really cool. They both look good. I don't think I'm going to be able to get... Maybe. All right. That's not the best shot I've ever gotten. I don't know. I don't know which one I'm going with. They both look pretty cool. The missiles look more menacing, but this has a certain coolness to it that I really appreciate. I don't know. I think for right now, and that slides right out. There's a little bit of snap to in there, so it does hold it in place really nicely, but they're easy to swap. I thought I was going to be really cool and do that like with one hand and not even look, but I was wrong. As I usually am when I think I'm about to do something cool. So that, well, I guess I need to see how the blast effects work and look. And then we've got some more details to zoom in on as well. Let's see. All right. You can see on this side, we've got the same opening features that were on the other side. Looks cool. Well done. Yeah, I'm going to switch my grip here. Got the chin turret that rotates and pivots up and down, and there's a nice solid... I don't know that it's quite a ratchet in there, but it does hold it in place. Turns really easily. That's a nice movement on that. Then you've got the forward blasters. The blast effects are going to slide right in there. All of my blast effects are a little bent. I don't love that. Whoop. Get that one in there. So you've got both those blast effects plug into place really nicely. Well done on those. Let's see. These would go in, not in there. They go in this one? Okay, so those could go in that one. I must not have tried hard enough. Hang on. Because these have to fit in here, right? What? Oh, okay, there we go. So yeah, those fit in there. We'll just leave that there. That's fine. And then these big boys. We're going to plug into there. Attach there. That is awesome. And I'm not a huge blast effects guy. I love that they make them. As I've said many, many times, figure photographers are such an important part of the toy industry now that this kind of environmental type stuff or action type stuff is very important. But these look great. I bet it's going to be a little bit of a pain to get it off of that, though. No, not too bad. Oops, sorry. Put that right back on there. Okay. So I think that's as much as I can really look at with the fixed camera. I want to get into, well, let's light it up. And then as we get in closer with a handheld, we'll get a better look at the light up features. So this is our activation button. Oh, beautiful. Well, don't worry, we'll get closer to this stuff. I just want to see what we're looking at. So 2 gets the front light. Oh, yeah, okay, front lights. Right there. Great. 3. Boy, this is really easy to manipulate. Not. Gets a spotlight. Okay. 4 is just the interior lights and the spotlight. And 5 turns all your lights back off. So I would have loved it if these and this one also lit up. But I will say these are executed. This one maybe not as much, but these two are executed that they almost look lit. They appear to be we'll get closer up on those. They appear to be a translucent plastic, so they are kind of pulling light in and sort of look illuminated. But it would have been really cool if these could have been lit as well. But they're not, and that's okay, because everything else about this is absolutely awesome. So yeah, that's the end of the high angle fixed camera. Oh, what am I going to do about the base? I've got to put that giant sticker on it. Ugh. I'll just do that and we'll take a look at it in a minute. All right. So I'll be right back. I am going to, even though this review is going super long, I am going to review Wild Bill with the Dragonfly because he's part of the Dragonfly. So we're going to do some close-ups here, do the Wild Bill review, and then see how they engage and wrap it up. All right, I don't know how long the other portion of that review took, but I was definitely standing up that whole time, and it's nice to be sitting down now. So here is, ooh, that doesn't want to, Some of this feels a little scary. Oh, man. So one of the hinges just came loose. I hope did not break. That would be disappointing. Let me take a closer look at this. So we've got a stress mark here where this popped out of socket. And I just wanted to show that detail before I pop this back on. Nothing is broken, but that, from the way that these are designed, let me take a look at the other side and see. See, that looks nice and clean. Sorry, my giant hand in the way. I'm just trying to get this one popped up to see if it's got as much resistance. What is the best way to open this, I wonder? There we go. Yeah, see, this has that same resistance to opening all the way. Like, this really doesn't want to flip all the way up. So I am going to stop right now, get this piece put back on, and then we're going to take a look. All right, I apologize for the glare, which makes it kind of hard to even see what I'm talking about. So this piece didn't want to go all the way up. My personal recommendation, and look, if you've got this, you do whatever you want with it. My personal recommendation is don't even operate this piece and this piece, these swing up gull wing pieces or whatever you want to call them, because they resist it. Made me uncomfortable, but I wanted to get it up and open like it's supposed to be able to do. So this popped off, and I just don't. There we go. You can't really even see it. There's a little bit of white stress right here, but I was able to pop it back into place. Like I said, I just recommend don't operate these. It's not worth it for whatever you're going to get out of it. And if you do, and one of them comes loose like mine did, you're going to have to take the whole canopy, put it all the way up, and put this back on. You've got to seat the back piece first. Use both fingers very, very carefully here and just slowly push it into place. But like I said, I don't recommend operating those at all. I wasn't comfortable doing it. So let's take a look at the interior. Go ahead and turn the lights on, get a nice good look at those. You've got your ball jointed control stick, lots of doodads, your 5-point harness. Oh, no, wait, I guess 4-point harness. I was thinking it was a 5-point. Doesn't matter, who cares, but really nicely done there. We'll have a wild bill in just a little bit to see how well. Does this move? Surely. Oh my gosh, that moves. What a nice little touch. That little lever right there moves around. Same thing up here. That's great. I love it. And the lights are just really bright and beautiful. Instrument panels, the detail on those looks fantastic. It's difficult to get a good angle, but there we go. Absolutely beautiful. The seats are great. Let's turn that around. Love the detailing on these. And this is, I'm pretty good, I think, with the way these are designed, because, yeah, you just pop that open and you'll slide them in, put this back in. It should work really well. We'll see once we get Wild Bill opened up. So that's your interior. Beautifully designed. And just while we're here, we'll get some more close-ups of some of this detailing. Just all the rivets and everything on it. Just really, really nice looking piece. Oh yeah, I wanted to get a closer look at these right here. See, look at the way that these are separate little pieces of plastic that I believe are translucent. So, man, they would look great if they lit up. But even not lit up, they look pretty cool. Like, they look almost lit, like in this direct light like we've got them right now. There's the front light, the spotlight, and then just the spot in the interiors, and then off. So five different light modes if you consider off a light mode. Tampo looks fantastic. Wow, Bill Hardy. Turn it around, get a look at the other side just to do it. But this is, as far as I'm concerned, has absolutely delivered in every way that I expected. It feels great. The plastic is, it's not like giant toy plastic. Like, it feels like quality stuff. It is sturdy but heavy, but functional. All the parts interact nicely. This is just an excellent piece, another triumph from HasLab, in my opinion. All right, let me stop my handheld, figure out where I want to go next. Man, I want to put some of those labels on. I can't make a decision about that right now. Real quick, here's the stand, and the sticker is slightly too large for the stand. I feel like I did a pretty decent job of putting it on here, but if you can see, the diameter or the length of the sticker is very slightly larger than the diameter of the flat space of the stand. I wish I could have I wish I had tilted it just a little more that way, but giant stickers are just hard to apply, and whatever, it looks fine. All right, and just real quick while we are talking about the labels, I love these, and I would love to be able to not care enough to just put these on this Dragonfly and make it crazy, and even this one on the base there, but they just don't make sense for Wild Bill. And if there was something in his file card or whatever that said he loves horror movies or Ratfink stuff or whatever the case may be, if we had stuff like this for the Vamp, well, I guess maybe these could go on the Vamp if you wanted to get really crazy. But anyway, as much as I love these, they just don't make sense for me for the Dragonfly. And then these, which I dig, but these, I don't understand how these tooth pieces are going to work with, pardon my background, with all those rivets. And we talked about this on Audible Interlude, how that doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. So I'm probably just not going to bother with those. These, I think it's funny that this is a mustache. I don't know about any of this, to be honest, because it looks so good without anything, but I do like that they did this stuff. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how I feel. All right, welcome to the Wild Bill portion of the review, and it's really weird to be picking up a mint in-box G.I. Joe figure and not doing the spiel. I'm going to be, it turns out, I have run out of time for the day. You look, nice little painting on the side of all the Dragonfly figures put together. So I've run out of time today. I have an interview with Fresh Monkey Fiction that I have to get ready for. That will be available as part of the Needless Things Creator Series next week, so keep an eye out for that. But I've got plenty of other stuff ready to go up this week. So the remaining 3 Dragonfly figures are just going to have to go up next week. There's no way around it. All right, but we got to get to Wild Bill because he's an intrinsic part of the Dragonfly. No tape on this, which is kind of cool. There's no reason there should be. He will never, this version of Wild Bill anyway, will never be at retail. Oh, and he's got a nice special backdrop too. So obviously the temptation will be to keep these boxes, which I don't keep boxes, but these are special and different and whatever. Man, that I love that background. That is great. But I need to just throw them away. There's no reason to keep them whatsoever. All right, let's take a look at Wild Bill, who I always had a fondness for. Oh, they've got tape all over all this stuff. Ugh. Always had a fondness for Wild Bill because he was one of the earliest, more distinctive Joes. And that's, I love G.I. Joe because of the individuality of the characters, of the, at a glance, you know who that is and what they're about. Oh, this is so great. So Wild Bill being a cowboy, and certainly in 1984, oh man, was the Dragonfly 83? Or it was 83, wasn't it? Anyway, whenever the Dragonfly came out, I was certainly at an age, whether I was 7 or 8, where cowboys were like really, really cool. Cowboys are still really, really cool. So having a G.I. Joe cowboy was amazing. I mean, I had the Lone Ranger. I can't remember what company made them. I actually have them again because my pal Wilson. Oh, that's weird. It's a weird look. It's not weird because that's how the different hair pieces work for action figures these days. But it just looks bizarre without it. So my pal Wilson, that's responsible for a huge portion of the G.I. Joe Real American Hero stuff that I've got right now. There were some of those old Legends of the Wild West or whatever that line was called that had like Lone Ranger, Tonto, but also like Wild Bill Hickok and, other cowboy personalities. I think there was a Zorro, although I don't believe I have the Zorro. Zorro and Tornado. But I've got Silver. I've got Tonto's horse, whose name I cannot remember. So he's got the standard ab crunch there. Man, his flight suit looks really, really good. The detailing on this is great. And the way that they've done, if you look at the crotch portion, it looks a little more snug. They've I don't know, it just looks good. It looks better than they do sometimes. So his holsters, man, the detailing on him is so nice. If you want to flip those around to have the steer on the front, he's got like a cross draw thing going on there. I don't know which way I'm going to go with those. I love, he's got the belt buckle on his flight suit. That's a great detail on that. Looks awesome. But yeah, I mean, helicopter flying cowboy, straight, it's Apocalypse Now, right? I can't remember the character's name, but the love the smell of napalm in the morning. These HasLab figures always do feel like a bit of a step up. The paint is almost too distinct. Let's put him side by side with a regular retail release. You see what I'm saying? Where Dusty, his eyes to me have more of that inkjet printed look, whereas Bill's are a little more distinct. I don't know. There's if you see what I'm saying, where these have that, I realize we're looking at a dusty figure, but that sort of dusty look, like the paint has been dusted on. And these, I mean, almost look like traditional, just old school painted. It almost makes him look like a cartoon compared to the other mainline classified figures. It's not bad, but it's just different. His mustache is phenomenal. Let's get that hat and that. So we've got one hat with the hairpiece connected, which is just the way to do this, I think. Goes into place and stays in place. Look at that. Good design, good friction. But I mean, that's the reason for the way they've done this, is so it will stay on securely. That's impressive, though. I mean, I'm holding him up by the hat. Fits on perfectly. Hair looks great. Hat, fantastic. Painted detail is wonderful. Plastic feels good. Let's check out yeah, joints are nice. Those gloves. Now, it is a little weird to my eye that the top portion of the gloves have so much paint and then this portion has nothing. Oh, but wait. Okay, so, that's a good way around that. So it's just this part of the glove that's decorated in that way. Smart. I like it. Look at this. Even the little seams on the knife sheath painted. Zippers painted. Yeah, everything moves nicely, feels good. Like I said, the HasLab figures to me have a tendency to feel and look just slightly better than the mainline releases. Let's try the other hairpiece on. I mean, I won't be using that, but not bad. Oh, and you can see where his sunglasses go. So let's try those on. So these are not like Sarge's original glasses, but they're also not rubbery. So I think they're going to work fairly well. Oh, yeah. Oh, look at that. So the you kind of have to... Oh, sorry. I'm zoomed in too much. Yeah, see, if they were a more rigid plastic, they would work better. But they're a little rubbery, so they don't quite hold the shape you want to hold them into place, because you can see the molded spots in the hair that they sort of clip into or fit into. And if they were a rigid plastic like the original Sergeant Slaughter sunglasses, they'd be perfect. But they're just a little rubbery. So a little bit of that, they'll probably stay in place okay. But I just hate it when toy companies figure something out, do something right, and then stop doing it. Just like the neck hinge that they took out of these. That was a revolutionary point of articulation, and then they just stopped doing it. And it's so frustrating, because so many of these characters, not Wild Bill really, but so many of these characters need that point of articulation. So let's see if the sunglasses stay on a little bit better with the other hairpiece. Looks great. Yeah, and I'm never going to display him any way other than this. So, all right. Oh, I got a piece of tape stuck there somehow. He, of course, has his trusty revolvers with the sculpted stars. Look great. No port for blast effects. I'm okay with that. They're a little rubbery, but they're rigid enough and they are holding their shape. So I'm fine with that. That's not a problem for me. I don't mind them being flexible as long as they hold their shape. Those are going to go right into, this one's identical. Go right into that holster. Oh, that looks so great. Just for fun, let's flip it around though and see what it looks like with the yeah, that's okay too. I don't know which way I'm going to go. And then finally, got that knife. Also a little flexy, but again, it's straight. It's holding its shape. It looks good. And it's got the little suggestion of the eagle. I don't know that that's really what that's supposed to be. Put that in there. Fits perfectly. Looks great. Wow, we did that whole thing in 4x zoom. Wild Bill is... I hate... He's not perfect, because his sunglasses should be a little more rigid to work better. But other than that, I think he's perfect. Nailed it. Oh, it's so nice just being back in the workshop. And I just realized I don't think I'm going to be able to open this because I don't think I have enough. I'm going to have to like move and then I don't think I have enough clearance with my camera. All right, let's see. Do that. Oh, and actually, sorry for the wobble. That'll hold that in place as we mess around with this and get Wild Bill seated. Okay, I think that's going to work. I do kind of wish Wild Bill had come with a flight helmet. I saw people mention that, and I thought, well, why would you do that? But now that I'm thinking about it, if I zoom, I don't think this is going to be... you can sort of see it. I do kind of wish he had a flight helmet. There we go. Okay, wacky. That's... I have a sense that's going to be a little frustrating to get into place. So, let's try to get him in here as is without taking all of his stuff out. I'm trying to decide where... Okay, so his feet are going to slide up under there. You can see the backs of the front harness coming through right there. That's kind of funny. But I'm going to leave everything on him and see if I can get him seated without everything falling to pieces. And I really hope that I don't end up having to dig around in here for those sunglasses, but we'll see what happens. So this portion, this is not going to work. Oh my gosh, how is this going to work? Because this belt pulls out a lot. This doesn't come, no, it doesn't come apart anymore. I wonder if I should have just left his legs aimed out in front. Oh man, what is happening? Okay. It's there. Let's keep aimed out in front. If I should have just left his legs straight. Okay. All right. We're getting there. We're getting there. He has not fallen apart yet. Although, how does he fly with that hat on? I'm telling you, I don't want to take the hat off. I'm going to try and get this harness over that hat. It's just not going to, there's no way. That is not going to work. So the sunglasses have to come off. That has to come off. That's as far out as that goes. So then we pull that up, plug. Oh, that was much easier than I expected it to be. I thought that was going to be terrible. All right. So he is buckled in, and that hat, you're going to have to kind of lean him forward. I may not worry too much about getting his hand right on the flight yoke. Right? That's a yoke, isn't it? It can be done. Oh, which way is his? I didn't look at. Okay, so his wrist is articulated that way. So you will have the flexibility you need to get it positioned, I think, on that thing. I'm just not messing with it right now. And then this hand can go on this little gizmo over here. And we are going to get his hat and his sunglasses back on, because that's how Wild Bill has to be, no matter how uncomfortable it looks like it would be to sit in this snug cockpit with that hat on. We're going to make it happen. Okay, there he is with, again, a little more work and not sitting here trying to shoot a video and make all of this happen. He is in there. We're going to button this up. Oh. Plenty of headroom. No concerns there. Look at that. Wild Bill in. I don't know if I'm going to be able to turn this at all. Yeah. All right. Let's turn on the instrument panels. Wild Bill in the Dragonfly. Plenty of room for him. He looks right. It's not snug at all because this thing is big. I don't think there's really anything else I can show you guys here. This is the Dragonfly, and it is another masterpiece from HasLab. I think my biggest gripe, or my only gripes really, is that these hinges, I'm just not comfortable using those at their full range. I'll probably never touch them again. And Wild Bill's sunglasses could be just a little more rigid. Other than that, I'm blown away. Worth every penny. Another triumph from HasLab. And, next up for me is going to be the Ecto-1. And I can't wait. Because that thing, that's a must-have. That is such a part of my pop culture life. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends about Needless Things. Buy yourself some cool toys. Use that disposable income on luxuries while you still can. And just check back. We'll have, not this week, but next week, I will have the rest of the Dragonfly figure reviews. I know that's not optimal, but hey, what are you going to do? Thank you for watching, everybody. Until next time, yo, Joe.
Smash that like button if you like Needless Things.